Welcome everyone. We'll be starting in just a few moments. Thank you for coming.
Mai đây hòa bình ta về ngắm lại dòng sông xưa, đồng hoàng sơ xác hai bên sẽ mai này thơm mùi lúa chín. Trên sông người về con đò chiếu đầy vầng trăng quê, hò khoan cô lái du dương đón đưa người đi về chung đường. Hòa bình ơi, hòa bình ơi, hòa bình ơi, hòa bình ơi, ta gánh chung đau thương một trời, Nam Bắc ơi quê hương tình người, Việt Nam ơi, Việt Nam ơi. Mai đây hòa bình khung trời quê mình rộng bao la, đàn chim tung cánh bay xa, Bắc Nam rồi không còn ngăn cách. Hôm qua Sài Gòn bây giờ có mặt tại Cung Tung, chiều nay khăn gói xa chung, sớm mai này đã về Hải Phòng. Hòa bình ơi, hòa bình ơi, hòa bình ơi, hòa bình ơi, ta gánh chung đau thương một trời, Nam Bắc ơi quê hương tình người, Việt Nam ơi, Việt Nam ơi. Mai đây hòa bình con tàu đưa đoàn người di cư về thăm đất Bắc thân yêu đã xa.
All right, we'll get started in another minute or so. We know it's a busy day for folks, so we'll be starting in just a minute. Enjoy this beautiful music.
Hòa bình ơi, hòa bình ơi, hòa bình ơi, hòa bình ơi, ta gánh chung đau thương một trời, Nam Bắc ơi quê hương tình người, Việt Nam ơi, Việt Nam ơi, hòa bình ơi, Việt Nam ơi, hòa bình ơi, Việt Nam ơi.
Alrighty, we'll go ahead and begin. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. My name is Joshua Howardigi. I'm the Administrative Systems Membership Relations Manager here at CAVE. We're excited for you to be here for today's exclusive membership webinar, Vietnamese Dual Language Programs, the How and Why, presented by Dr. Annie Pyong. Please make sure your mic is muted and your volume is up during the presentation. If you haven't already, please rename yourself in the Zoom, and you can add your chapter name as well. Now, please allow me to introduce our CAVE CEO, Jan Gustafson Correa.
Thanks so much, Josh, and welcome everybody. It's great to have you all here. This is our final in our series of membership webinars, special membership webinars. And Josh, as I go along, I'm wondering if the slide needs to be enlarged, put in presentation mode. I see it in both the, not quite seeing the whole thing, but that's okay too. We're just so pleased to be here today with Dr. Annie Young, who's volunteered her time, a member of our CAVE Board of Directors. Thanks, Josh. And really supporting us in so many ways to help increase CAVE's presence and support and development of our Vietnamese language programs throughout the state. We've been holding a few webinars these last several months to build this membership community, and we're so pleased. While we know we're a smaller group today, we're small and mighty. And just as we look at the needs of our growing Vietnamese community and our English learner community as a whole, we're so just really thrilled to have us with one of the experts not just in the Vietnamese language, but in English language arts and math. Dr. Annie Young brings us a wealth of experience. She is currently a curriculum coordinator at the San Joaquin County Office of Education, and she's a member of our CABE Board of Directors. She represents us with Region 1, which is Northern California. She lives in the Stockton area. And Annie, we are so pleased that you're here today. And I know we're going to be learning an awful lot about Vietnamese dual language programs, the how, the why, the research, and some of the data that goes along with that. So thanks to all of you who are here today. And I'm really excited now to pass it over to Dr. Annie Bicklon Young. Annie?
Thank you so much, Jen and Josh, and welcome everyone. Could I share my PowerPoint? Thank you. It's great. Okay, so I am so pleased to be here, and there's a lot about the Vietnamese community, and believe it or not, as you can see in a little bit later, Vietnamese students, the English learner has always been the second largest group in our state ever since I started in education in 1988. And we have always been, and I am so glad that we had this opportunity to talk about how we start the program so we can have more program, and not just Vietnamese, but it could apply for others so that we can have more dual language program for other language groups as well. So to get started, bây giờ tôi mời các bạn hãy ghi tên họ và nơi làm việc của mình vào trong cái chat, phải không? Cái hộp chat của mình. Khi mà các bạn vô trong cái Zoom thì các bạn sẽ thấy cái chữ chat. Thì thí dụ là các bạn có thể ghi là, thí dụ như tôi là Annie Dương, là tôi làm việc ở San Joaquin County Office of Education. Thì bây giờ các bạn ghi trong cái chat, thí dụ như tôi thấy có Dr. Annie Rodriguez. You can just say Annie Rodriguez and then San Francisco or South Bay. So các bạn có thể ghi trong cái hộp chat đó, để ghi có giới thiệu mình là tên gì, tên, họ, Annie Dương, và cái nơi làm việc San Joaquin County Office of Education. Để tôi bắt đầu nha. Rồi mời các bạn ghi vô. Viết tên của mình, viết tên trước rồi họ sau. Yes, cảm ơn Josh. Chào mừng Josh. Jen có làm không? Annie? Welcome Evelyn. Chào mừng Jen. Giỏi lắm. Tên, họ, với lại cái nơi mình làm. Liz Murray, welcome, thank you, yay. Wow, and you are now in Australia. There's a lot of Vietnamese in Australia as well. I had some childhood friends who live there. Anna, Arambula from FCC. Great. Do we have anyone? Tên, họ, với cái nơi mình làm việc. Annie Dương, San Joaquin County Office of Education. Thì các bạn ghi tên của các bạn vô, giống như mình có nè ha, mình có Evelyn Puisano của KB, mình có Liz Murray, mình có Anna. Oh, we speak excellent in Melbourne. Okay. Okay. We are so glad you're here. Okay. So just a little introduction. Tên means your name. Họ means your last name. And then nơi làm việc is where you work. So pretty much so tên Annie, họ Dương, nơi làm việc San Joaquin County Office of Education. Okay. Oh, I have the PowerPoint. Evelyn, if you could put the link for the PowerPoint in the chat so people can follow along. It's okay. All right, here we go. So for today, what we try to do is we want to talk about the why, so the demographics and a little reminder of the language acquisition research, and then the what. So we have different Vietnamese language program across in California and across the United States. And then we are looking at the starting steps, and we look at that resources and challenges, and then closure. So for 45 minutes, I try to condense a lot of information, and hopefully this is just the start of the conversation. So just to get started, looking at the Vietnamese demographic. So according to the 2018 US Census, we have more than 2 million Vietnamese living in the United States. As you can see, 40% live in California. And then, of course, we got our Orange County is the largest place that the Vietnamese are living overseas. And then in Texas, in the United States, Texas, we got 12%. And then like in New York, in Florida, there's about 3% for each one of those. But you can see California, we have the most. And then when we look at the student in California, according to the CDE data quest, like I said earlier, Vietnamese has always been the second largest EL group in California, ever since I joined education in 1988 to now. And so usually the number of EL in California is not anywhere between, it started out at like 25%, and now it's kind of go down a bit. And so we have about 18-19% of Vietnamese, the EL Vietnamese in California. Vietnamese always have between 2 to 3%, second largest after Spanish. And with that EL group goes down, we have more students who become proficient. And so that's why it's account for all the numbers. So just a little reminder of the common underlying proficiencies from Dr. Cummins. It's like we talk about language, the skills and knowledge transfer across languages. Some of us took the challenge, and because of my request in Vietnamese, you took the challenge with the example. You were able to put your name, your first name first, your last name, and then where you work. And so you can see, once you know it, you can transfer no matter what. And it just takes some time, it takes encouragement, and we can do it. The other one is that literacy in L1 facilitates literacy development in L2, and vice versa. It's a two-way street. I've seen a lot of children, because they live in this country, they eventually lose their primary language, and English became their stronger language. But as they build up their English, when they go back to their primary language, they pick it up really fast. It's even faster because they know the oral. So it's the literacy, the reading and the writing, and listen to it. It helped a great deal. And so to me, when I think of dual language, I think of common underlying proficiency. And I'm sure all of us in here, we know about the cognitive benefits of being bilingual or multilingual for that matter. And people always say we are smarter, but I think it's not so much that we are smarter, but because our brain has the ability to think multiple ways. And because we learn different languages, we have the innate ability to see how English works. Even though English is not my first language, I have the capability to analyze language a lot better if I understand it. So I want to say that in there, because working with English learners, that's the huge part of it. And I did not know this. This is less mental decline in old age. So I'm gonna maybe need to acquire another language so that that will never come to me. A more efficient, better develop executive control system, of function of the brain, flexibility, problem-solving skill, learning abilities, changes in neurological processing, rational decision making. So you look at it, there's so all the benefit. And again, when we are looking at how the brain function is multiple pathway, is the pathway it builds up, and with learning so many languages, it helps. Of course, we do have some advantages of being bilingual. For immigrant children or even first or second generation immigrant, being bilingual help maintain their own culture. It maintains the relationship, the communication, passing on traditions and all that. Of course, we are able to gain multiple perspectives as we are looking at different angles into any phenomenon, create and appreciate cultural awareness, develop more adaptability, social, emotional, and interpersonal skills. And of course, the last one, I put it last because we don't go into bilingual or we don't become bilingual because of money, but it does increase the career opportunities. So what I like for us to do is I like for us to go into a quick breakout room. When you go into a breakout room, I like for you to practice this, and we will practice together here. So we have the frame here. Tôi tên. So you can practice quietly by yourself. Tôi tên Annie. Thì các bạn có thể giống như bà Jen, bạn có thể nói là tôi tên Jen, tôi tên Josh, tôi tên Evelyn. Okay. Go ahead and practice by yourself. Put tôi tên, that means I am, and then your first name. Tôi tên Annie. Okay, you have a chance to practice. All right, so at this one, we're on the count of 3. Go ahead and unmute and just say tôi tên and then your name. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Tôi tên Laura.
Ruby.
Very good. From now on, whenever you go into a breakout room, and every time you go into a breakout room, you will go into a breakout room with different friends. So every time you go in, you have to introduce yourself. Tôi tên. Okay. The second one, you're not done with that. This is too easy. Okay. Tôi tên. And then the next sentence, I want you to say tôi đang làm việc cho. Thì I currently work for. So if you are retired, then you can say I am retired. Tôi retire. Just put tôi retire. Okay. So for me, I would say tôi đang làm việc cho San Joaquin County Office of Education. Okay. Tôi đang làm việc cho. Tôi đang làm việc cho. Okay. Tôi đang làm việc cho San Joaquin County Office of Education. For those of us who are retired, you just say tôi retire. Okay. Okay. All right. Practice that. Tôi tên Annie. Tôi đang làm việc cho San Joaquin County Office of Education. Okay. Are you ready? Let's try it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, unmute.
Tôi làm việc cho special professional specialist.
Tôi đang làm
việc. Tôi đang làm việc cho.
Tôi đang làm việc cho. So when you go into your breakout room, that's what I want you to say. To introduce yourself to the members in the group, tôi tên, And then tôi đang làm việc cho. Okay. Tôi tên.
Tôi đang
Annie.
làm
Tôi
việc
đang làm việc cho San Joaquin County Office of
cho
Education. Okay. Okay. So after you introduce yourself, I like for you to share quickly with the group. What do you know about Vietnamese and your reason to join us today? What do you know about the Vietnamese? Anything you know? And then your reason to join us today. Once you share that, I like for you to access this Jamboard. Evelyn's gonna put the link into the chat as well. So when you open up the link, on the left-hand side, you will see pen and stickies and even a text box. So all you have to do, the next thing you have to do is you have to identify your group. So if you are group 1, so when you are going into your breakout room, make sure you know your group numbers. So if you are group 1, you go to the first slide and then you can freehand, or you can select a sticky and then you type in, what do you know about Vietnamese, the Vietnamese, and then what's your reason to join us today? Okay, I'll see if I can do this really quick so I can show you. Because we're gonna use Jamboard quite a bit now. So we'll go in there. Let's see. There we go. Let me share my screen so you can see it. Okay, let me see. Oh, many of you are there already. Okay, so Josh gonna put us into a room. So Josh, if you can put like a room about approximately three people and about 4 minutes. So when you go in the room, then you can go over here, you see the sticky notes, you can pick it up, you can choose a color, and then you can type what you know. So you can just say, they had good food. Or you can say egg roll. So maybe I think a lot of time when people think of us, they think of egg rolls. There we go. Okay, you can put that and there, and then you can just take a sticky notes and start writing. Now, so this one, oh, I love pho, I love it. So this is room 1. This one is room 2. And then you go here is room 3 and here's room 4. Okay, all right. Okay, go ahead, Josh. About 3 of us in the room, about 4 minutes.
All right, setting
Let's
it
give
up
us
right
5
now.
minutes because we have to practice the introduction. So
Okay,
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yes, thank you.
5 minutes, and make sure you all have the link in your chat.
myself. Okay, how did we do? Welcome back. Okay, so let me see. So here's room one. We got a lot. I know that many of the Vietnamese refugees endure many hardships in Vietnam. Yes, correct. I was one of them. I was one of the boat people escaping on a boat across the Pacific Ocean. You want to learn about my work? Interested in Vietnamese history? You know what? I think these here will help us in our future planning with CABE, when we have our conference, when we have our quarter meetings and things like that. So this is really helpful. We got strong literacy tradition. Yes, we have our Bao has been with us twice, and the newest, the youth poet from Sacramento. We are hoping maybe we can invite her. And then the adult literature. Yes, we have delicious food. Hopefully when the pandemic is over, we can make pho at in one of our meetings.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, I am going to continue with, wait, that's not right. I can't move it. Okay, so thank you for participating in that. That was fun. So I want to move on to the Vietnamese language program. So here in America, what I have experienced and what I know through my research is that there's a three type of programs exist in the United States. One is the dual language immersion, our DLI programs. We got the community language schools that the community put out, and then the Vietnamese language as world language. So we'll go into each one of them. So in California, right now we have these following program. We got the Mel Elementary School, the Westminster, is from Westminster Unified School District. I had the privilege and honor to visit it several years ago. They started in 2015. I would say that was one of the longest in California, the first and the longest in California. And then we got Murdy Elementary School in Garden Grove, and that started in 2017. We got Windmill Springs, and this is in the San Jose area in 2019. It's still new, but it is in its second, probably third. Yeah. So, and then we got Magnolia High School. It just started in 2019. This is for the high school. This is the first for high school. And then the newest one that I know, if you go online, you search, you're not gonna find it. The reason I know, because I was involved in the development of this. And so the 2021 is the first year that Painter Elementary Allen Brock started. And so they continue, they are now working to get more enrollment for the following year. And so these are just California. We had a program in Portland, one program in Portland, and one in Washington, Seattle, Washington. And the one in Seattle, Washington has started probably about approximately 10 years ago, because when it first started, I do know of it. And so it's been an ongoing. So this is the dual language. And then when we look at community language school, we usually is the religious groups. So you got the church, the Buddhist temples. So they are the one who felt like, okay, we need to maintain our language. That's how we maintain our culture. So the religious group would build the Vietnamese school, and then at the Vietnamese language at the same time also get the kids to learn about Bible or the the Buddha teaching and all of that. Another one is local community. So of course we had many of them: Sacramento, San Jose. Here in Stockton, I am the founding principal for a Vietnamese school about 5 years ago, and then I knew LA, San Diego, pretty much everywhere. When there's a large enough group of Vietnamese, we all get together and we have that. And usually with the local community, we are self-funded. Funded, like we don't get any money. It's just the community that get together, and usually if the religious group, then they have their own facilities and stuff. But the community, like for my school, we do rent from a school district, and we operate usually in the weekend on like my school is on Saturday. Every Saturday from 9 o'clock to 11:30. The kids come in, they learn Vietnamese, and we do have some songs and things like that. Whenever there's Vietnamese New Year, the Mid-Autumn Festival, we have some celebration to remind the kids, to get them connected to some of our tradition. And then another thing is usually is enrichment. There's also enrichments, and these are the programs that happen within the school district. Like Stockton Unified, they took after, here in Stockton, one of the school district, they took after our idea, and they have it after school for an hour, and parents love it. And so that's another way that they have it. And like I said earlier, all these are self-funded, and it's usually in the weekend. The third one that I found out lately is Vietnamese as world language. And so I know for the fact that San Francisco Unified School District, in a couple of schools, they require students taking Vietnamese as world language. And so it is as an elective course. And it's some, like I said, some schools make it a require because of the community they are in, and they want to, they have that big vision that all kids, it doesn't matter if who you are, it's just like the more language you learn, the better for you, as we see in research. And then usually these programs, they are within the school day because it's part of the curriculum. So within the school days. So we're gonna just stop for a minute here. We're gonna invite you to go back to the breakout room. You're gonna do the same thing this time, okay? When you go in the room, we're gonna have new friends, and you are going to introduce yourself again. Tôi tên Annie, tôi làm việc cho San Joaquin County Office of Education. So when you go, I don't know why it's missing. So maybe that's a test for you. So once you go in the room, I like for you to share, have you heard of these programs? Do you know these programs that I mentioned? And then are there other Vietnamese DLI or language program that you know? Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing. This is another link. And again, if you keep the PowerPoint, you keep this link, you can always go back. So Evelyn, if you can put the second link for the second breakout. So once you go in there, share, discuss, and then you can access the link, and then take the sticky note and type what you know, even if you have questions. Okay, and let me see. I think that's that. So go ahead, Josh. So let's do about another 5 minutes for this.
All right, I'll go ahead and open them up right now.
Josh, I think we're gonna close it a little early because we don't have much time left. There's only 6 minutes left, but I might go over time a little bit.
Okay, did you want me to close it in about a
Maybe
minute or so?
we can do how many more minutes?
2 minutes, so maybe one more minute left.
Yeah, just put one. Well, breakout room will close in a minute. I want to go and see what they write. Let me see if I can find the link. Yeah, I knew that. I knew we're not gonna have time. Man, 45 minutes. Where did it go? Okay, you can go ahead and close it, Josh.
Bring that right now.
Welcome back. So I saw a couple notes, a few notes that some of you see the Franklin, the Spring Mill Schools on YouTube, and then the VSpeak. Excellent, great. And then you met with the mill in Little Saigon. That's great. Okay. I like to continue because our time is running short. We turn around and it's over. So let's continue. There you go. So this is the part that I learned, and like I said, I have firsthand experience last year trying to help painter from Allen Brock to get started. It needs the vision. So it could be the community who come to the school. It could be the teachers on staff. It could be the administrators, anyone with vision. We need that vision in order to start the program. And once we got the vision, then we go to the proposal, the approval process. If you want to have the DLI in the school, if you want to just do it in the community, just like the whole group get together and we built it and we got it. And then planning. It's just like, this is the part, it's just, we meet almost every other week. At first we meet every other week, and then as it's go, then it's like once a month, but we meet very often. And the key here is we need to involve all stakeholders. We got parents, we got community, anyone who we can bring in to help support the program. And it doesn't have to always be Vietnamese. It could be other community that can support us. So anyone we can involve with painter. We got the one in San Jose. We got the legislature, the staff of the assembly members that come in to help, in addition to parents, to school staff, to the district staff as well. And then when we looked at that, we also need to have staffing. Of course, we have to have teachers. And the teacher is the one who's going to carry the torch with the curriculum and all of that. So staffing is another one. And then we look at structure and curriculum. How do you want to do that? I think curriculum is a big part, and I'll talk about it a little bit. And then once you have the planning, it's an ongoing. And then at the same time is advertising. And what we did is, of course, newsletters, flyers, and then we go to community meetings. The principal Tran from Painter, she goes to any community meetings that she hears. She went to the Vietnamese New Year, and she has a table at the celebration to talk about her program. Any big gathering that she find out, she's there. Another one is radio station. She asked the community member, and then connection is relationship and connection. She got onto radio stations so that she talked about her program. And she works, I have never seen anyone who worked that hard, but because she has that vision, she wants to have it done. And guess what? She attended our cafe. That year when we had Bao Phi for the first year, she came, we started talking, and she get it going, and she had it this year. It's a lot of work, but it's pay off. And looking at resources, one of the, even with my Vietnamese language school on Saturday, I confer a lot with this group. They are the TAVIS group. I think it's Teacher Association for Vietnamese Language Culture Schools in Southern California. Even though they are Southern California, they are helping everyone. And their group, I had whole respect for them, and I became very involved. So anything, even translating materials and stuff, I go to them for help. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. The other group is the Natural Resource Center for Asian Languages, and again, I included the link there. So they have material, and they are free materials on their website that we can use as supplement when we teach. And with those material, the reason I say supplement, because they are very appropriate, and they are written in the Vietnamese perspectives. And I'll talk about it in a little bit. Of course, here we are, CABE. Anything we can do to support you. In fact, we are planning to have our quarterly meeting, and we'll have that, we'll share it in our Facebook and websites and all that. And hopefully we can get the group going, where anyone who would like to learn more or start the program, we are there. We will be the support. Anything we can do to support, that's what we are. So with that, I like to go into the curriculum. This is one of the challenge that program has, because there's no curriculum. And so the group now in Little Saigon, they self-created their material. So that's one thing, they self-created. The other one is they translate from published material, of course with permission from the publishing company, and they translate. And the best thing is, right, one of the things I think is coming up is that when we translate, all of us know we cannot translate word for word. We have to translate, we take the ideas, and then we translate into Vietnamese or any language that we want to use with our own perspective, with the characters and all that. And of course, like I said earlier, supplemental material from TAVID, from NordCal, and the online materials. Although the online materials are free and readily available, we have to be extremely, extremely careful. And here's the reason. So I put caution because of the current situation. We have to be aware of the Vietnamese politics. And you know, we got the Vietnamese Republic before 1975, and we got the current communist Vietnamese right now. And so the reason you have Vietnamese overseas because of that politics. So we have to be really careful. This is the flag that you want to fly. And then if you want to talk about anything about language and culture, you want to think about the Vietnamese with the lens of the Republic. That's all I can say. Be selective of material to use, and I've been talking about it a little bit several times, is that there are materials that are readily available, but they are from the communists. And a lot of time, if you have the community member, and I know We left our country. Many of us escaped on boats, and we lost our family members and all that, and we came to freedom. And so when we look back, it hurts us to not being able to live in our own country. Even though we made it here, we love this country. This is our country. More than half of my lives are here now. Still, and I have to say, it's not just because of the government, the politics, but the thinking, the use of literature is totally different. Sometimes we feel it's being destroyed, to be a little extreme, but that's how many of the Vietnamese are feeling. So be selective of material to use. Material translators should be based on Vietnamese culture and perspective, of course, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense. Even when I translate a lot of material for our state letters and stuff, I have to really put it into the way the Vietnamese speak. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. This is important. Consult with staff who had breadth and depth knowledge of Vietnamese language, literacy, custom, and culture, because they are the one who will give you insight of how the community is when we deal with parents, when we contact parents, when we talk to parents and things like that. So these are some of the cautions that we really have to navigate. I think I am quite knowledgeable, and because I grew up in both regions, and my father went to jail and all of that, and I escaped on both. So I do have that background. But even so, when I deal with community, when I am in the community, I have to really tread water and be careful with that. Because otherwise, if I am not careful, I do not have the trust from the community, and it's really hard for me to do anything with the community. Because once we are here, we are a very strong and tight-knit community that we want to make sure. And yes, we love our country, and we don't know when we will return. So we want to maintain our language, our costume, and our culture. So our children, generations after, when we are gone, could continue to maintain the Vietnamese groups overseas. So with that, what I like, we are running over time. So instead of putting us in the breakout room, I like to open it up for comments, questions from the audience.
I think it's very important work that CABE is doing right now to support the Vietnamese community, as they have been supporting the Spanish-speaking community for so many years. It's very important work, and I'm glad that it's happening now.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yes, Dr. Duong, I would agree. And I really appreciate you sharing all of the information that you have in such a short amount of time. I appreciate the language lesson, the historical perspective, and just all of the resources that through Evelyn you're sharing in the chat. And yeah, I look forward to just hearing more. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I guess the fact that it has the dual language programs in Vietnamese haven't been around for that long, but it makes sense that for all the reasons you just explained, the resources, the difficulty in finding curriculum and so forth. So I'm really thankful just to have that perspective about the Vietnamese language programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Young, I have a question. This is Jan. You know, one of the things that we face in our in the programs we work with in Spanish sometimes are that we have to do some sharing with parents to help them understand the reason why it's important to learn Spanish along with English. And oftentimes they feel like their kids should just learn English, that's what they should do because, you know, being in this country. And we really just try to show the research and the practice and why it's so important to be bilingual. Is that the same approach within Vietnamese families? Like you mentioned, there's a lot of pride in keeping their Vietnamese, but how is the feeling about learning Vietnamese in school? is there support for that, or is that also controversial sometimes?
Sometimes it's controversial, but I think as we live here, and I like I said years ago, when I first came 20, 30 years ago, the parents, and I think that's why 227 passed years ago, is because when we came here, we want to be successful. Even myself, I want to speak English like a native speaker so I can be successful. I don't want to walk around speaking with an accent. However, and that's what the parents try. They were so happy when their kids speak English. However, as they see the breaking down in the communications, and then the kids slowly moving away from their own culture, and they lost contact with the kids, even though they live in the same house, they can't communicate. And so that's when they're like, oh no, we have to pull back. And that is why we have more and more Vietnamese in the language in the communities to do that. And then I think that's what I'm hoping to do, is try to spread the word out so parents know, because if we have more parents asking for the DLI in the system, we will have more. But sometimes the parents said, okay, at school you teach them academic in English, I will take care of it in the community. But why not bringing it in where they grow up bilingually, academically?
Yeah, I just want to say, just to echo like how much I appreciate the presentation, and you covered a lot of ground, and also that interactive piece of speaking a little bit of Vietnamese. And it's it's inspiring to see what is happening. And but like you were saying, 227 did put, I'm sure that put like a hold on some of it, like because it was so difficult to set up the programs. But it seems like there's a lot to go with now, with and especially like you said, dual language, like that being the important piece, that it is part of everyday schooling for people is really important.
I was so excited because I had one, I think it's district administrator in San Francisco. She just contacted me a month ago about this, and she says her school, she's one of the district that offer Vietnamese at English, and they require that the kids in their school take in Vietnamese as a second language. Doesn't matter. So I thought, that was really encouraging, that not only bilingual, but we are multilingual, multicultural, that we try to and I think that movement, because of the fall of Vietnam in 1975 and the countries in Southeast Asia, we got a lot of Southeast Asians, like in California, like among the Cambodian as well. And so the more we have, the better. I know in some area we got Korean. And so as we can try, and I always said Vietnamese has always been the second largest EL group in California, has always been in the last, I don't know, like 30 years. So it's, and as I did my research, when I found there's quite a few, but still we would love to have more. And one of the things that when I see it down south, I always tell Jan and everyone, I said, it's stronger down south than up north. And I always blame it on because we got too much land. But hopefully, as we are going, we build more. I am so happy with the 2 programs we have here in San Jose. So I'm hoping that Sacramento can have one, San Francisco, and even here in Stockton, that we can have at least a program to start up and then continue. Because like we've been talking about, it's not just to get the language going, but it's also embraced. And during this time, with access and equity and everything is going on in the world, the more we have, the better for the world to come together. Other questions, comment?
Yes, hi Annie, this is Annie. I have a question for you. We have the Vietnamese students in California, specifically there in San Jose, Stockton, Sacramento, like you were saying. Then what is holding back the DLI programs from starting up in these cities that do have the population? Is it the politics? Is it what's happening that it's not happening? Do you have an idea? Do we have the teachers? Is it the staffing? Is it the staffing or?
I would say up here is the vision and the staff. So let's say I work at San Joaquin County. I'm Vietnamese. I can start shaking and moving. I can start the movement. But if I think it's the vision and the staff and the parents. It is all together. But it takes someone to start the movement to have it going. And down south, there's of course this is like the second Vietnam overseas, and so there's a lot more, and it's a tiny community. People talk, and as you can see, there's a more Vietnamese in the government now. We have Vietnamese who's running for assembly members and in the political area. So then it's expanded. But that's what I'm hoping to do is the vision. And I'm so happy to see many of us here who are not Vietnamese but attended this, because doesn't have to be Vietnamese. Anyone with the vision can help us start it.
That's absolutely true, Dr. Young. Thank you so much. I wish we had time for more dialogue and questions. I have several I'd like to ask. I know there's you too, but what a great...
We know what to do during our quarterly gathering now.
We do. We do. Thank you so much, Annie. This has just been so informative, just delightful, just a great gathering. And we just want to thank you. We want to thank all of you for being with us today, for supporting our CABE membership, and for your interest. And, you know, we invite you to continue this journey with CABE. We do want to expand our programs and reach out to our colleagues, our sisters and brothers, our friends, our families from different Asian languages as well. And we are so grateful to you, Annie, for representing not just the work in Vietnamese, but embracing so many of the languages and helping us move in that direction. So thank you so much, Annie. And I want to pass it back to Josh, but Annie, is there anything else you'd like to share, to say before we pass it back to Josh for some closing words?
Again, I just want to say thank you, and we will have more Vietnamese program because of you. Everyone who's attending this meeting today, it shows that you support us, and you support bilingual, multicultural, multilingual for everyone, for all kids. Thank you so much. And I apologize, I have to run.
Okay.
So, my class starts at 4:30.
Okay. All right, Eddie. We just have a couple more announcements, but Dr. Young, thank you so much. We'll be in touch soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Josh, bring us home.
All righty, folks. Well, welcome and thank you for staying. A lot of familiar faces here, so we'll just kind of go through this, though. As you know, this was a membership drive that we had for all our members this past fiscal year. And this concludes our events up through June 30th. So with that, we did have a couple of raffles and items to give away. So I'll go ahead and start. Our first item that we had was actually for the chapter that recruited the most members, and that would have been from April 15th through June 1st. And the winners are actually two chapters. We had CABE Riverside and North Orange County. So we'll be able to, State CABE will be offering a speaker for an event for one of their events in the future. So congratulations to anyone from Riverside or North Orange County. Thank you so much for the drive and for promoting our membership group this year. The next item that we're going to raffle off is actually for our summer DLI event that's coming out on June 23rd through June 25th. This is a complimentary registration. And this one we ran for any member who registered to become or renewed to become a member from February 22nd through June 1st, pretty much the duration of this drive. And the winner is Marisela Miranda from Azusa Unified School District. So we'll be reaching out today for her CABE Summer DLI registration. So congratulations to Marisela. And then last but not least is our final item that we were giving out for our CABE membership drive this year. Again, from February 22nd through June 1st, a paid membership. This one is for our CABE 2022, CABE, yeah, 2022, wow, already time flies, conference next year. That'll be in March 30th through April 2nd of next year. So this would go for a complimentary registration, and the winner is Javier Ortega from Coachella Valley Unified School District. So congratulations. Thank you, everyone who's here. And for those who don't know, we've had a CABE membership drive. We've had a bunch of events, and this is our raffle. We had exclusive events at the CABE conference, gave out resources for teachers and educators alike. So it's been a great drive this year. So hopefully stay tuned for next year. We'll see what comes up next year. Hopefully we can do this again very soon. With that concludes our event for today and our membership drive. Jan, did you want any parting words?
Just thanks so much. Thanks for all of you for being here. It's been a great afternoon supporting our Asian language programs, our Vietnamese, and Joshua and Evelyn. We want to thank Evelyn Briseño, part of our membership team as well, Lori Nasrallah Miles, and of course, Joshua Haudegui for the great support for this event. Again, our thanks to Annie Young and all of you from our CABE Familia being here today. So it's great being in familia. Thank you all so much. And do you remember how to say your name in Vietnamese?
Tôi tên.
Tôi tên.
Toi Then Jan. You gotta say your name though.
Nan Carolina.
Thôi Than Laura.
Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. CABE team that's here, we're going to try that at our next team meeting. Toi Then Jen. All right. Hugs to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you,
Dr.
everyone.
Aguilera Fort, thank you for joining us too. Appreciate it.
So sorry, I have a board meeting, so I finished the planning and came in running. And now I'm going to the meeting. So
Muchas
thank you.
gracias. Thank you so
Good luck,
much. Thank
Carly.
you.
Good seeing you.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Mari. Thanks, Aida. Gracias. Thank you, Evelyn, Josh. Great job. Thank you so much. All right.